Hey everyone, welcome back to On Purpose, the #1 health podcast in the world. Thanks to each and every single one of you that come back every week to listen, learn, and grow. Now, one of my favorite things I'm seeing at the moment is reading all of your incredible reviews on our podcast every week. Thank you so much for leaving them. They make a big difference to our podcast. Now, today's guest is someone that I've been excited to speak to for a long time. You may have heard his incredible videos on YouTube. You may have even done some of his amazing programs. And whether you have or haven't heard of him, I'd love to tell you a bit about him. Today's guest is none other than Bob Proctor. He's the New York Times bestselling author of You Were Born Rich, an internationally acclaimed speaker and a motivational coach. He's devoted his entire life to helping others reach their goals and realize their full potential. Bob currently offers countless programs to transform individual lives through the Proctor Gallagher Institute. Welcome to the show, Bob Proctor. Bob, thank you so much for doing this.
My pleasure, James. Glad to be here.
Absolutely. It's wonderful to finally be with you. I've watched your videos for a long time and come across your work. And as I was saying that to you before, you said to me, Jay, I've been around for a long time. I've always valued the insights and wisdom for people who've seen there, been there, done a lot of things. What's the biggest lesson that you learned in the last 12 months that maybe you haven't learned in your life?
I think I'm becoming more familiar with the importance of the internet over the past 12 months. I sometimes feel like I was guided, Jay. I built a studio. It's actually a small TV station. Now, I say that because I had a couple of people from a TV station in the studio, and I said, it's sort of like a TV station. They said, no, Bob, it is a TV station. We have multiple cameras here. We have our own editing. We can broadcast all over the world from here. It's very, really well put together. And I think the thing I've learned over the past year is that you have to learn how to communicate through different mediums, or you're going to go out of business, in our business anyway. And we have been exceptionally well set up for this situation that we're all experiencing in the world today, you know. And as a result, we're able to reach a lot of people and help a lot of people. And a lot of people need help today. There's a lot of mental nonsense going on in the minds of masses that they've never faced before. And so I think a lot of people need a lot of help. And that's what we're trying to provide.
What do you think's changed, Bob, since when you first started supporting and helping people and now you continue to do your work so effectively? How have people's challenges evolved? And do you see it as being the root cause being the same, or have we drastically changed in the pain we experience?
No, I think the root cause is much the same. I think it's the programming, it's the paradigms. Culture is a paradigm. Countries have paradigms, companies have paradigms, and of course, individuals have paradigms. And those paradigms are very deep-rooted, and they really control us. And the bizarre part of the whole thing is that we didn't write the code for the program that's controlling our life. Someone else did. And someone that was not very well read at all. We have a program in our subconscious mind, and much the same as the programs in the computer. And that program in our subconscious mind controls our behavior. And for the most part, in 90% of the cases, the program was written by people who were totally ignorant as to what they were doing. They had no idea what they were doing. And that it's a very difficult thing to change. You don't just haul it out like you would out of your computer. It really has to be altered and has to be changed. And it takes a respectable understanding to do that. It takes a lot of discipline, which is the probable reason so few people do change very much in their whole life. and it's rather sad because, like, as I always believe, we're God's highest form of creation. We're all exactly the same. I don't care where you're from or, how you think you're different. We're really not any different. We're really all the same. The mind operates. First of all, there's only one mind. I think that's where we should probably look. And we're all an expression of that mind. And I see mind as a movement, not a thing. And we're an expression of that movement. So I think there's a tremendous educational job has to be done. And the educational institutions that are set up in the world are not doing it. And they've never done it properly. It's created, I think what they've done is add to the problem that exists,
I was watching a video of you. One of the series you post on your YouTube channel is From the Vault, where you shared these older videos of you speaking many years back.
Oh, yeah.
And in one of them, you were talking about how when you were shared, this wisdom was shared with you that if you didn't like the results, you had to change what you were doing and who you were. And you said that starts with self-study. And what you were just speaking about right now, you were just saying that the code and the pattern that we're all following, we didn't even program it ourselves. How does someone start self-study? Because I feel like people are trying to read books and they're watching videos and they're listening to a podcast. What is the real journey of starting self-study?
I think there's a lot of people trying to study this and they're going about it the wrong way. I think there's a lot of people writing books that really don't understand what they're saying. Their understanding is very shallow. I think the secret to understanding how to really get to know ourselves, we have to go to people that have demonstrated by results they really know what they're talking about. Like I always say that 80% of the people that are teaching have never done what they're teaching. And if you haven't done it, I don't think you really understand it. So it's not what do you know, it's what do you do? And for years, companies were paying people based on what they thought they knew. It was gone by a degree. And the degree didn't indicate they knew anything at all. It meant they'd gathered information, but I think we have to go by what they do. I was very fortunate when I started to study. The first man that helped me, the first person that helped me was a man, and he's the one that introduced me to this book. This I've got it held with an elastic now. It's Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And he knew what he was talking about. And he said, if you do exactly what I tell you, you can have anything you want. Well, I didn't believe that, but I believed he believed it. And he did. And he did know what he was talking about. So I feel I was particularly fortunate in that I met someone like that. And I think probably it was an unconscious thing in the beginning. If I followed anyone from then on, I looked what they were doing before I started to listen to them. I looked at their results before I started to pay attention to them. And that has been sort of a guiding principle in my life. I believe if you want to learn something, you have to go to someone that knows more than you do. And that's really what I've done. And I've had 5 or 6 people that I've followed over the past 60 years. It's been 60 years since I started to study this. And I followed that principle, and I think it was a good, sound principle to follow.